knows a thing or two about making a pickup. After all, the F-150, which started life in the 1940s, has become one of the most popular vehicles in the US, with nearly 1 million sold last year alone. The UK, though, is less receptive to the pickup, but having said that, competition in this field has become more fierce over recent years, with options becoming more car-like than ever before. Mitsubishi, Nissan, Volkswagen and even Mercedes have all launched very premium offerings, and Ford's response is this, the Ranger. One thing you'll notice about the Ranger is its more rounded dimensions. No longer is it a box on wheels. It's got features that you'd more commonly see in the family car segment, like the grille and those premium looking headlamps. No longer is the interior of the Ranger a comfort-free zone. Yes, there are still some rather cheap and nasty plastics on show, but they should prove pretty durable. And let's be honest, most people who are going to buy one of these will use it as a workhorse rather than a school run special. Anyone familiar with Ford passenger cars will immediately get to grips with the layout and the switchgear. Some of the buttons and controls are nice to look at, but a little fiddly to use. As you'd expect, there's lots of storage space in here, including a large glove box, some deep door pockets, and this bin underneath the central armrest. There isn't as much space in here as the Nissan Navara, but up front you'll find there's plenty of room for the front two occupants, and two 6-footers won't complain too much in the back. This Wildtrak version is the top of the line model and gets features like sat-nav, rear view camera and interior ambient lighting. Now you can have the Ranger as a traditional 2-seater or as a more popular double or super cab with a row of seats in the back. With the 2 seats, the load bay offers 2,317mm of load length, which reduces to 1,847mm with the extra seats. Now there are 2 diesel engines to choose from, a 4-cylinder 2.2 with 158 brake horsepower or a 5-cylinder 3.2 with 197 brake horsepower. The latter one is only available as a double cab. Needless to say that if you've got one eye on economy, then the lower capacity diesel will be the one to go for. Drive it carefully and it'll return an average fuel economy of just over 40 miles per gallon. The more powerful version will return around 34 miles per gallon in manual guise or 31 miles per gallon with the automatic. Now the Ranger is a big car and it feels like it to drive on the road. It's not the sort of car you can just nip through traffic easily, but to be fair, the same can be said for most of the competition. Overall, the ride is comfortable and the body control is well composed, although it's not what you'd class as refined, with a fair amount of engine and wind noise leaking through into the cabin. The steering is also surprisingly good for a pickup. It's nicely weighted and pretty responsive. Now, as with many of its rivals, the Ranger is rugged and capable, just as much in the rough stuff as it is on the road. The electronically controlled 4-wheel drive system means you can switch between 2 and 4 through a small dial. There's also a low range mode should you find yourself in a particularly tricky environment. For off-roaders, there's a good ground clearance and tech like hill descent control and hill assist start. And if it's going to be an essential part of your daily commute, an off-road pack with locking rear diffs is also available. The Ranger ticks all the boxes when it comes to a practical, rugged and usable pickup. There are lots of options to suit most customers, there's a decent level of off-road ability and safety kit is impressive. The downside is that it does feel pretty big on UK roads, no more so than some of its rivals, and some versions are thirsty too. But there really isn't anything that should put you off if you're in the market for this type of vehicle.